What's up, everybody? I'm so happy that you're here today, and if you're new and joining me today, this is a PG-13 channel. It's often about any kind of paranormal story time that I can come across, as well as any magical tips and tricks that may be up my sleeve if you're lucky. Here we like to talk about conspiracy theories and haunted stuff, so if you like weird stuff, we like to talk about it right here. So welcome, welcome. Today's episode is going to be about my scariest dream that I have had to date. So this was maybe 2 days ago. So firstly, I want to mention that in my present mystery school, something that I've learned was that dreams are absolutely always instructions for your future. So whether you want to call it a higher power, your higher self, your ancestors, or God, I get a lot of hate mail when I use the G word. So this is instructions from the beyond for you. So it's advice, it's instructions, it needs to be paid attention to. So this dream, let me just jump into it. The setting of this dream seemed to be in the future. I'm not sure what time, of course, but this seemed to be in the future. I felt older. I felt like the people that were with me and talking to me were older. So let's just guesstimate 10 years. I don't know. So the setting of the dream seemed to be in the future in a place that looked an awful lot like Asheville. Probably not Asheville. The buildings and the businesses in the stream were not downtown Asheville or anything. It's just a place that I'm familiar with, so my mind just said this has to be Asheville. So this was in a downtown kind of area. There was bars, there was lots of businesses all together. I remember in this dream, this was like the time period that supposedly the whole entire country was going from paper money and switching over to only the digital cryptocurrency. So this was in this time period within 24 hours. People were just like getting rid of the money, the paper money that they had in their wallets, because most people had already sunk all of their bank accounts into digital currency. So at this point in time, whatever paper money that people had in their wallets, they were on the bright side doing good things. Like, for example, they were finding like homeless people and just giving them whatever paper money that they had in their wallet, because the homeless people, that gave them about maybe 24 hours or so to go and spend it at whatever businesses that were in the area that were still accepting paper money. And there was like homeless people on the news crying, talking about, oh, I've never been able to invest in Carhartt jackets, and I've never been able to invest in UGG boots for the winter. I'm so happy this is happening. So this was becoming like a nationwide celebration. Okay, so people were treating this day similar to like New Year's Day, where there's a countdown and everything. So what was supposed to be happening is that when the countdown happens in your area, everybody was going to go out in the streets, and then small planes like crop dusters were going to come out, and they were just going to spray or drop little $1 bills everywhere and use it like confetti, because paper money just will not exist anymore. So people are watching the countdowns in different time zones of the country, and they're all having celebrations, and they're doing the countdown similar to New Year's Day in New York City, stuff like that. So there's parades going on, and people are having a blast with it. So I remember looking around on the college campus that I live near. People were using the paper money to prank their friends, and they were just scotch taping $1 bills all over cars. People were just throwing it everywhere. And then, of course, there were those people that were just balling out last minute. They were going and getting last minute tattoos that they could, getting their hair done, nails done, everything did. So people were going and blowing the last little bit of paper money that they had on them, because it was just going to not be a thing. So of course there was the woke people, so my general friend circle that are really big into conspiracy theories, and they research on stuff like they just don't trust the government. So naturally, everybody that was not planning on going out into the street to dance in the paper money confetti that's being dropped by the planes, they were all making sure they were going to be in shelter. Everybody that did not have a property or house that is out in the middle of nowhere, of course, they were going and seeking shelter in restaurants, because all of my hippie friends were just expecting some kind of BS to happen. They did not believe that the airplanes are going to come around and drop money. They're just expecting this to be something like a mass murder of some kind, supposedly. So I remember in the dream, one of my friends' names is Lorelei. She's awesome. I remember her texting me and saying, hey, it's like 5 minutes till the countdown. I'm just checking on all of my friends, making sure everybody's going to be somewhere safe. And at the time, everywhere was crowded, of course. So in this downtown area, there's just people in the way. It looks like Mardi Gras. It's packed everywhere. You can't get a car through the crowd. So, of course, there's people packing into restaurants as well. So I went to like my second or third restaurant. The lines are outrageous. And the only place that I could find shelter and food, I remember texting her back like, yeah, I'm in line for food right now. I'm going to a Subway that's connected to a gas station. I'm safe. So I gave her the thumbs up. So there was like 8 people in line at this Subway connected to a gas station. I went ahead and ordered my food. So people are texting me, everybody's selfieing on social media. I'm ready for the money countdown. So in the dream, there was supposed to be some kind of an alarm, which was provided by the local fire halls and provided by the local colleges, which is usually used for like a tornado drill alarm, something like that. So when the alarm sounds, it was supposed to be like, woo, countdown, everybody get ready for the airplanes or helicopters to come and just shoot $1 bills all over the place. So everybody was out in the street of this downtown area that looked like Asheville, and friends are texting me, just double checking, and here we go, it's the countdown, and people are out in the street and they're screaming. It's a horde of people, okay, filling up all of the road, both sides of the road. They're just back to back, standing everywhere. And there's a guy with me, I'm not going to say any names here, but in the dream, me and him are getting our food, and we just kind of end up being crowded and stuck into this tiny little hole-in-the-wall Subway connected to a gas station. So it becomes a countdown, and then people are yelling 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the alarm goes off, and it sounds like tornado drill from the college. And there's people screaming out in the street. They're all excited, and they're all waiting for airplanes to come around. And a minute or two goes by, and the alarm is already done playing, and there's no airplanes. There's no helicopters dropping $1 bills from the sky. So, of course, the people that are conspiracy theorists or people that believe in that stuff are all hiding. We're like, oh, it's going to go down now, whatever they're going to pull. So I remember off in the distance, okay, you can hear some smaller airplanes. And then as they get closer, they sound like bigger airplanes, and they sound like they're shooting. So people then, of course, are like, that's not the airplanes coming to drop money. They're shooting us. So after 1 or 2 minutes finally goes by, the crowd finally realizes, oh, this whole thing was a whole trap. Like the government just set this up so that we would just all get shot in the street, or a good chunk of people would just get shot in the street. So there is now a horde of people running and stampeding through the roads, trying to get back to their cars, trying to hide up under parking garages, bridges, anywhere that they can get shelter. It's a big mess. So I'm still inside Subway with the dude that I was with. There's maybe 8 other people inside Subway. So, of course, the teenager that's working in Subway just went to the back in the kitchen somewhere. He's locked himself in the freezer. It's probably the safest place he could be at. The other people are, this is set up kind of like somewhere up north. Like this building is in, this business is in the corner of a building. So there is a door that is in the corner of the business. So there's some of the people are hiding off in that corner. I get the bright idea to crawl under a table as if that would actually help me. None of us thought to cut the lights off or lock the door or anything. And I can see through the windows that the businesses across the street, they're locking their doors, they're closing their blinds, they're shutting up. So everybody's hiding. There's people in the road screaming. There are airplanes that's going over top of everything. They're very obviously shooting now. This is definitely a setup. So I'm hiding. Now, while this is going on, I remember that there is some soldiers that are running through the streets, and I can't tell what branch, and I can't tell who soldiers. I can't tell what kind of uniforms they are, what country they're from. They're just soldiers that are running through the streets with really big firearms. So they're coming and very obviously just blasting people. So, of course, I'm still hiding. This building that I'm in is like a concrete building. The door is still unlocked because all 10 of us were stupid. So I remember in the dream, there's a soldier and my heart is pounding. I remember crawling over to the corner. I think I've got like a hat on. I usually wear a hat, and there's like holes in the hat. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna play dead. I think we're all just choosing to just lay there and pretend to play dead. Just pretend that we've already been shot, even though nobody's bleeding. Let's try it. Let's try it. So I'm looking through the holes of the hat, and the soldier comes in and opens the door from the business, and he just kind of looks around, and as he starts spraying and just shooting everybody, I'm like the last one in the corner, and then I wake up, and I'm so scared I could just throw up. So remember that I said this now, so I don't know if the country will ever just completely drop paper money and then only go to digital currency, and perhaps it's just everything that I've seen in the news lately, so it was just a shocker. It was really terrifying, and I thought that I would share this story with you all. Hope you're entertained. So guys, that's all that I have for today, and I will see you at the next video. Mayfairy loves you. Mwah.